a lot of people like myself and many of us had expressed, where do I add value here? You do try and figure out like, how do I add value? And there is an unlock when it comes down to realizing that the experiences that I'm already coming with could actually be helpful if I just speak up. And I really encourage that, because I do say like Web3 needs you. This stuff is being built right now. If someone has a complaint about something, or, oh, this doesn't work this way and da 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 da, it's like, okay, cool. Well, how are we going to make it work this way? A lot of people are asking the question of what is the metaverse, but maybe they should be asking, what do we want the metaverse to be? And I think that's kind of where like we're at right now. We got Otherside that's being built out and it's being co-developed with the community. So it's all in development right now. If we have some ideas of what we want to get out of it, this is our time to really showcase that and either do it ourselves or come together as a community to figure out how can we actually make this happen.
Yo, what's up,
Hello,
everybody?
everyone. Hi.
Welcome to the DAM show. We are super hyped today. Atareh is going to join us in a little while. He's busy getting his makeup ready. You know what I'm saying? He's got to do the geology face stuff. But he'll be on in a little bit. Super hyped today. We got the Otherspace with us today. The OGs from the Otherspace. We got Nana and we got Jason the Ape, aka BaronVonHustle, up in the house with their apes on. What's going on, y'all? Welcome, welcome.
Hey.
What up?
Good to see you both.
I wish I had a sweet ape overlay, one of those 3D apes to rock like y'all got, but like they're just getting diamond hands in the mullet, you know, Netta and her gorgeous beauty, you know, that's all we've got to bring today. But y'all with those
It's
apes,
true.
how'd you guys get those done? Like what's going on with those? Because we know who was it? Ben Mayer White came on and Jonathan Nash did up his 3D ape. Like, who made those? What do we got going on? Because I really think those AR, VR assets that we can represent ourselves in these digital mediums are really the next level of where we're trying to go with our PFP models. And I love seeing them. Tell us a little bit about those, guys.
Yeah, sure. First of all, what's up, everyone? I see we have maybe Netta having the golden hour today. So you know, we got diamond hands coming in with a little trickle of golden hours still, but GM to you both. But yeah, man, you know, these filters were made by the homie Mutant 33, and he goes, his name is Attila, and he cranked these out, and they've been amazing, really enabling for us, especially as content creators. And Jason, I don't know if you want to kind of add to that.
No, I mean, Mutant 33, the homie Attila absolutely crushes these. I think he makes the best out there. So I've been telling everyone to get theirs, but he will not make mutants anymore. Just Bored Apes, because apparently the mutants are very difficult.
No, but he has some solutions.
Oh my gosh! I don't think.
I ordered a mutant one for my girlfriend for Christmas, and he's like, "Dude, don't, no more mutants, okay?"
You know, he's working on some really cool solutions, though, both just with a lot of AR stuff. You know, Jason has like this business card where you can throw it on as a sticker or, you know, whatnot. And then all of a sudden his ape head pops up telling, oh, you're holding it up. I love it. Ape head pops up, tells him to go to, you know, his website, the Hustle House. And yeah, also for mutants, like he was working on this like cool, like I guess you would call it 2.5D, where it's the 2D, but as you move your head, it turns its head, it talks, it does all this stuff. So it looks like your actual illustration is talking, which I think is also a really cool look that fits with the brand of whatever the PFP project is.
Yeah. I mean, so like the apes are like, y'all are just legends in the space, right? The Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Yeah, Netta's with the static fur that she's got on it with the hat, the spinning hat. I imagine that's quite a render to try to get through. But even as you were just talking, Nana, like the way that your mouth, right? everything just moving in sync with what you've got going on. It's a mind trip to me. Like, I don't know. I'm head fucked. I'm not that high this morning. I haven't had the chance to get too stoned lately. I'm all clogged up in the nose. So like I look fucked up, but I'm really not that lit right now, actually.
Dude, it's recovery week.
Yeah, bro. I do a lot of my things with these with my ape head on with normal people, and they don't even react to it because it's become so it's normal now, I guess.
This is my crazy boy, so I think it's a bit too hard.
Man. No, that's really sick, cool though.
The noise fur is rad.
Yeah, I love the noise fur and just that mouth with all those like dark cracks in it. That's really cool. When did you get that, Netta?
I bought it in August.
Nice.
Yeah, end of August. I waited like 1 year. I thought it was never gonna happen to me. I was like, what is going on here? Because when I entered the space, obviously we were in the bull market, prices were crazy. I was like, okay, done. Just accept you will never be part of that group of people. and I was accepting it. But then in June, when we met at NFT NYC, and then we started the DAM show and everything, I felt like, guys, I think I'm gonna make it. Like, I think I'm gonna try and do as much as I can to buy an ape. And yeah, then prices started to go down and down and down. I was like, yeah, this is my moment. I have to jump into the train right now, or it's gonna be too late, or I don't know what the future is gonna be. So for me, being like 80%, 85% below all-time high price was already a good entrance point. So I was like, it's okay, even if it goes more down, whatever. Anyway, I'm getting a good price for this, so that's why I did
awesome.
it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Luckily, she picked that up, right? Like, or else we would have been waiting outside at the Ape event, Netta, right? Giving up your +1, right? Like, but,
yeah, right. Y'all cruise right on through the secret entrance. You know, we see you guys. We see you guys. We
they left me outside.
The damn show.
They left me
outside. But that being said, like, I got the chance to meet Jason at the WoW event, right? Like, Jason had some beautiful, just like the sparkles running through his hair. Got to meet Jason and his girl and his partner there. It was absolutely amazing meeting them and like talking about like building in this bear market, right? And like the difference we can try to make for the community, right? Like at the end of the day, trying to keep people informed on what's going on with all this speculation isn't very easy, right? But with what y'all are doing at the Otherspace, right? Trying to keep people informed and up to date about what's going on with the other side. I mean, how's that been going for you? And how did that get started, y'all?
It's been fun, man. We the very first test that happened back in June, I just popped on a Spaces and was like, I got to cover this because I can't get into the demo. I need someone to like relay and tell me what's happening, right? And so Peter Fang and like some other homies jumped in and they were in and they kind of started explaining for everyone what was happening, you know? Just hearing like, it was like a play-by-play for the metaverse. It was very weird, but it was necessity because a lot of us couldn't get in. So the next week we did it again because we were like, all right, we might be able to get in. Some might not be able to. I was able to get in. And each time Sean popped up and week by week, we just kept trying to have this topic be something that we focused on because we couldn't get into the test, right? And then we were just like, dude, let's do this every week and just make it a show. Sean came up with the great name, Otherspace FM. And once we picked a time and a day that worked for our schedule, we're like, we're locking this down and we're going to do this every single week and make this a place where the community can come and share their same excitement because we had nowhere else to talk about it weekly. But, you know, we're talking to our friends and family and they're like, we get it, okay? But in our other space together, you know, we're excited and we create our theories about what codas are and what the lands are. And we find all these cool creators that like, you know, make amazing tools for us. And then we've created this really awesome chat room just for people who are super passionate and actually like really involved community members of the Otherspace. So it's been an amazing experience.
Hey, I'll add, you know, Baron and I, we've been trying to work on something together for a while. And if you know, him and I are like, lifetime friends. Literally, he was at the hospital when I was born. He gifted me my ape around in May in 21. And it was really the ode to like, yo, let's ride this shit together. You know what I mean? And none of us knew what it really was. I think, Baron was just like, yeah, we get access to like a bathroom where we can draw. And, there's a cheetah gang thing. And I think the transfer of the ape was like around May 5th. But, since then, Baron's been doing his thing. I've been doing my thing. And we've always been wanting to work on something together in the space. When the Otherside came around, there was that first trip back in July. We were all really excited for it. Baron hosted a space and had Herman Narula come in, a few others that were there. And, up until that point, Baron and I were always talking about like, yo, we really want to do something more like ape centric or Otherside centric, because we're not really feeling like it's out there right now at the time. And, when the Otherside first trip happened and then we had that space, we started to discuss this and be like, yo, let's just run it every week. The branding and all that kind of came natural, like as we just started to progress and be like, okay, maybe we could call this something. Maybe we should create a Twitter for it, just really see how because before it was just either I would host it or Jason would host it, and you'd kind of have to know. So yeah, just started to organically develop what it became to be, which is Otherspace FM. And it's a community driven space that we've defined as, all of us really being like builders and creators sharing their journey along the way. And we're all trying to figure it out. A lot of this stuff isn't out yet. There's a lot of speculation right now, but Baron and I had that conversation and kind of put it out there, and maybe similar to you all, as I've heard you express, but we're like thinking, when does Otherside actually like come out? Like a year, 2 years, who knows? But how dope would it be to look back and say we've hosted a community space for every single week up until that point? And that kind of like
5 or 6 months now, right?
Yeah, since July. So it's been really amazing. And, we're kind of open to how it's shaping up. But one thing for sure is the community around it, and very similar to, and 10KTF is, and the community there is a huge inspiration, because we saw how everyone was supporting each other. There's so many different people willing to step up and get the conversation going throughout the entire week, Yeah. So like shout out to everyone that has really been doing it, and we wanted to do that with Otherside and see if we can develop a community around it.
Yeah, literally the only reason why this has been fun is because the community that's grown around it, right? Like if it was just me and Sean talking, we would do it anyways. But now we have all this insight and different perspective that like, oh, who's this person? I didn't know they thought this, and they made this amazing tool. And then we geek out over like, Nix's like tools and Bad Teeth's tool. Like there's so many creators in the space making dope stuff right next to you. And you don't know unless you ask them what they're doing.
I have a question like regarding the Otherside first trip. How did you guys react when you saw that we had to actually find Wagmi-san's glasses? Like, first of all, I think like you were already pretty involved in 10KTF. I don't know how much, but I think Nana for sure. I don't know about Jason, but like, did you immediately realize that those were Wagmi-san's glasses, or you were like, what is this? What's going on?
I'll let you go.
Okay, dude. So when I heard that, I was like, first of all, I was like, oh shit, because I knew no one else really knew what they were talking about. And I was like, dude, this is the edge, let's go. But man, it's kind of crazy. I started looking at Twitter to be like, yo, we're like, what are people finding? Because when you were in the Otherside, it was just completely open world. Like you can go anywhere, and I had no idea where to go. So it was really like, all right, do I want to go with this group, and see like where to explore? And I was running around. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, am I looking for some little teeny glasses somewhere? But then, Twitter blew up when 19 found that And I was super stoked that one night found it too. But you know, ultimately I was ecstatic that the tie-in was there. Like, oh my gosh, in the first trip they're working in Wagmi-san. Like, that's cool. And I think that just kind of added a lot of fuel to the fire, you know?
Yeah, they dropped so many hints, like the ape coin reward for the first grouping, and then that too. And I had the OG Nikes that Figgy made for apes back in the day. And then I kind of just like never really paid attention to it after that. And I was like, oh, there's just so much going on. It's hard to focus your mental bandwidth, you know? But Sean kept telling me about it and it seemed really confusing. But then I found a thread and I had good conversation and I bought some crates and then I got carried away. And I think I spent like 10 Ether the first day I bought stuff and was like, I'll take that and I'll take that. And it was a fun time. So
yeah, once he's convicted, he goes in, you know?
Yeah, like I went and then I started gifting them to people and I'm like, here's a crate for you, babe. And like, here's, you know, this. And I've decided like every time I find a project, I just start gifting to the people I love because I want to do it with my friends, you know, and that's the best part of this.
Yeah, and you know, I was in it, but I didn't have too many assets. Like I remember getting the same, you know, the kicks that Figgy was dishing out to all the apes, and it was kind of cool. And also, if I'm not mistaken, he was like rocking out some Prestos as well. And I remember there were some Prestos too. I'm waiting on the Discord.
Off-white tag on them. Like we got to mention that off-white tag that was included on those fucking Prestos. Like important point, but yeah, you nailed it, Nano, for sure.
Yo, I remember because I reached back out. I was like, "Yo, what about the Prestos?" Like, not yet. But you know, I got in the Discord back in like November. And was just, you know, grinding a little bit, but ended up just kind of falling off to the wayside. And then when things started ramping back up and I think we felt like a wave of apes kind of come back, I was like, fuck that. I'm not missing out. Like this is, I need to invest my time into understanding this more, into learning this more. And it, you know, there's already this story that's kind of rolled out. And if it wasn't for all the people that were hosting spaces at the time, you got A-Bomb and Modest, 10K-TFM. Keegan was doing like more of an onboarding space. I remember going to one of his first spaces and everyone was encouraging to just, yo, keep going. Like this is super helpful, especially with all these newer people coming in. Yourself. You know, there's so many others that I know I'm not able to mention right now, but it's like, if it wasn't for that and just having multiple resources, it wouldn't have been as easy for me to get back into this and onboard myself. And that's kind of like, there's a parallel with Otherside right there too, you know, as far as community, offering resources and really seeing like how we can connect new people to come in and see, like, look at all the things that the community is offering for people who are willing to participate.
Yeah, 100%. And like really at the end of the day, it's about like showing up, right? Whether that's us showing up on our creator end or our community showing up on their end. Like, I think Jason had mentioned, like, if people didn't show up, right? Like, what's the point of doing it? We'd still be having fun, right? But like when people show up and the community comes up around it, when people show up, like that's really what it's about. These spaces, like what it started at New Tokyo News as was like me and A-Bomb just talking on a space. Like it would literally be me and him. There was one day it was just me and him for 45 minutes. Going back and forth. No one else showed up, right? But like just trying to open up that space to help people understand this complex project. I was doing daily write-ups then too, to like try to keep people informed on what was going on with this speculative project. And like, so those spaces, like if people, all of a sudden it's 5 people started showing up, you know, and then 10 people started showing up, you know, and the next thing you know, 30 people show up regularly now, you know. Netta for the first time, right, stepped up on stage and like spoke for the first time. There was just 10 of us, but like opening up that space for other people to be able to like free themselves as creators and figure out, discover themselves. Like that's one of the most beautiful parts of this entire journey, if I'm being honest, right, is watching the way that community creators are stepping up in their own ways, right? Finding their own little niche of what's fun for them, because that's the most important part. If you're not having fun out here and what we're doing and creating, what's the point in being here, right? But when the community shows up and you know that you've got the obligation to show up for them, that's how you really start building real shit in all of this digital metaverse, right? And you start establishing connections that mean a lot more to you than just the PFP, right? Like being able to meet with Atareh and Netta in real life, meeting with Baron, meeting with Jason, meeting with Nana, right? Getting to meet y'all. Like those are very real experiences that, like, if it doesn't happen in real life, it's really hard to explain, right? Like seeing Baron with pink hair, right? Glitter in it, right? And like being able to have a conversation, looking fucking gorgeous, by the way, just to be clear, right? But that being said, like being able to have a real conversation about like what's real to you in all this, you know, and then the vibe you can have off of the internet is one thing, but when that solidifies in real life and it's like, no, this shit, like that's a real one. I can't wait to roll one up when we get back on the West Coast together. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
It's all about sharing that energy in real life, though. And you're absolutely right. And I tell people this constantly. Like, I've gone to meetups in the crypto space since 2016, and it's allowed me to make friends with tremendous people along the way that were all strangers once, right? Or people I talk to often on the internet. They're friends. We're friendly. We talk more than most people. But when you get to see that energy in real life, you get a vibe. Like there's certain people I met in Miami that I was telling my girlfriend, it's funny to me that they text me now like, I love you, buddy. And we just hit it off that intensely in a week. But we had talked for a year and a half, you know? And so I'm like, I only say I love you to Nana and like one other guy friend of mine. So she's like, it's okay, have fun with it. And I'm like, all right. Like, but it's nice to make an impact like that to other people where they're feeling comfortable like that with you, you know? And now I'm like, that's kind of cool though, you know?
Yeah, that's
the way that people make you feel, right? Like the way that some projects make you feel, right? It's the feelings that are irreplicable, and that's what's really sustainable in all this, if I'm being honest. Keeps me, I can't wait to go to the next NFT LA, right? That shit's going to be popping. Got a lot of hugs, got a lot of love to give out, right? But like you're saying, that definition of love, right? When I tell my dad that I love him, I don't quite mean it the same as when I tell Atareh and Netta that I love them, right?
Right, yeah.
Figuring all that out, but it's all love. It's real love at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah. And you know, what's crazy is like, it took a lot. I just find it ironic that it's a lot of work and it takes a lot to just be yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to just be like, oh, just be yourself. But, you know, when you hop onto a Twitter space for the first time, or you're jumping into a conversation where, you know, maybe people already know each other and you're the kind of like newcomer, it's hard to be yourself. And, you know, the practice and just consistency of participating, you know, that is what enabled me to like allow myself to be myself. And when we are, I think we enable others we create that safe space for others to be themselves. So that's one thing I love. Like when we end up meeting in real life, oftentimes it feels like there's an immediate connection because there was already a genuine connection that was established, you know, digitally first, in many cases, just like when I was able to meet you all, you know, and see you for the first time. And absolutely, there's a unique, special feeling to just be able to hug you and, you know, to have the conversation in real life. But, you know, that respect and that admiration was already there, which is such a crazy thing, you know, to be able to meet up and then see each other in real life after knowing each other digitally.
Sorry, go ahead, Netta. My bad.
No, thank you. No, I just wanted to say something about helping each other and pushing other people also to express themselves. Like, for example, I recently jumped in a space for ladies of BAYC, which is something that I have never engaged with before. And Nana was there co-hosting, I think, and immediately gave me a shout out. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so welcome here. Like, that's very important, because when you enter like a space or a group of people that you have never, had any connection with, or you're just trying to hear, like you got interested in what they're doing, you just want to get to know them, etc. It's so much easier when you have someone that is so welcoming, that immediately puts you there like, hey, let's welcome this person, like let's make them feel that they can be part of this if they want to, and that's so important. And I saw that a lot happening in the last year and a half with 10KTF. That's what that's like the whole culture in 10KTF. As soon as you get someone new and you see that they're like trying to get interested, like just make them feel welcome, push them to, if they want to interact, make them interact. And that's a kind of the beauty of us creators as well. I think that for me, I see myself in so many people right now, how I was like 1 year ago when Diamond said, you entered that space, we were 10 people. And that was my first time talking on a space. And I was so nervous. I was like, what am I even doing? Why did I even request to speak? I don't know what I'm doing. And then fast forward 1 year, and I'm doing episodes on YouTube. I'm doing live streams. Like last week, we did 2 live streams per week. Like, this is so crazy. New Tokyo news every week. So there are so many people like me that are like so scared to talk or to even start creating, but they will be maybe like a million times better than me as well. They just need just a push, just someone that tells them, hey, we want to hear what you want to say. So that's so important. And thank you, Nana, again, for making me feel so welcome.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're a part of it. You already are, just you showing up, and you're part of the club anyway. So it's just like, I'm surprised that if you're new to that, man, oh my God, I can't wait for you to meet so many of the other ladies that are really raising their hand and saying like, hey, we got to get together. Let's really put the ladies on the map. And, I was really honored that they invited me to co-host that episode, because I'm so intimidated whenever I go in there. And so to co-host, and, I'm conscious of men taking up the space in this space, or even in a discussion. And so, it was really, really awesome to just be able to participate in this and have them make me feel included. And it makes me want to just continue to support and amplify my friends even more. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm really excited for you to meet some of them if you haven't already, because I think they're going to be equally excited to meet you and see what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Netta's been hosting. Netta, you've been every week. We show up and host New Tokyo News now for what, 8 months? You've been holding it down for fucking a year.
Holding it down
every single Sunday, right? We do the DAM show together now. Like, the way that this is built out. At the end of the day, I really think it's about like teammates. Like, we need teammates in all of this NFT shit that we're doing, even if it's your homeboy that was there the day you were born, right? Like, defining teammates at different levels too, right? But like, trying to do this on your own is not a sustainable model, right? And so like having that community focused engagement, right? Opening up, always having the ball ready to pass off to the next person, when they're ready to come up on stage, having it ready to share around and make sure they're comfortable taking that. Maybe we make sure they're a couple feet out from the rim to take that first shot. We're not going to put them at three-point range, asking them to hit a game winner, right? But we're going to give you a little layup right here. Come in and get comfortable.
I'm gonna set this screen.
Yeah, like I gave Sean,
you got me hyped up
the other day, dude. That it's more like volleyball, where we're all trying to set each other up for the next like volley, right? Like basketball is like a definite end. Someone has like an endpoint, but for more like volleyball, we're just gonna keep tossing it around. So like when I kind of end a sentence, Sean knows that that's kind of aimed towards him, and then he kicks it off to whoever, right? So learning how to facilitate conversation is a skill set that took 7 years of doing every day, like, you know, showing up and doing YouTube streams and spaces and just talking, and then offering the ability and welcome platform. Like, I think that's why it's so important for Sean and I as OG Apes to be hosting something like Otherspace, right? Because we came in with that $250 price range. So for us, it was always about being in a club, being valuable to our friends, like, you know, supporting each other in whatever we're creating, versus some people who may have looked at it as an investment, like specifically, right? Those people may not be as welcoming because they might have paid $400,000 for it and they're feeling kind of one way or the other way right now. But for us, we want to make sure that people are using this with the intent of building their IP, creating story and narrative, you know, creating community that has extra reach for whatever sort of thing you're trying to accomplish. Like the community in Otherspace, it hits a spectrum of like all sorts of talented people. We've got content creators, we've got like engineers, we've anything you could think of, artists, like just badass people. And those were all sitting in a PFP in our spaces, right? But we took the time to welcome them, get to know them on a personal level. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, you're amazing. And that just happens time and time again if you actually listen to people.
It's crazy the way that, like, same thing in our community at 10KTF, you know, having lawyers, researchers, right? Scientists, right? Like a PhD. Netta has an MD. Like, you wouldn't know Netta's a medical doctor, right? Like, just DJing out all the time. But like the quality of people we got in this game that we really don't even realize. Like, if you're in NFTs, you're ahead of the curve, right? Like you're onto something in digital technology and blockchain technology that hasn't really been tapped into yet. And if you're still here throughout this bear market, like, you're here for a reason, right? And so I think that's one of the most beautiful things, honestly, Jason, in the way that we're going to see our communities continue to step up and apply their skills and who they are, professionals in their real world, tapping into the digital world, and also developing professional roles that they may not have had discovered otherwise without the ability to jump into NFTs full-fledged. Like for me, like Netta's saying, I never wanted to be on stream or doing spaces. Like, I never imagined any of this shit for myself, right? But now that I got a crew to show up with, and I know, you know, community shows up to hang out, like, hell yeah, I'm down to do this for as long as it keeps going, right? Like, even if no one shows up anymore, I just have fun doing this shit now. So like, the way it shifted for me, you know, at its origin point, I'll never forget. I was going on Ed Balloon and Brittany Pierre's BAYC Rug Radio, right? And like, it's my first space. I didn't really know what was going on, but as a sociologist, I was like, oh yeah, these are the conversations we should be having out here, bridges for people. This is what's up, you know? And like, I remember I raised my hand to get up there and talk, and like, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to talk about, right? Like, I was just trying to participate in this conversation, focus on BIPOC, LGBTQ folks in the space and how we can create better community and stronger community, create allyship, right, within what we're doing in NFTs. And like, I raised my hand, got up there and said some shit. I don't even know what I ended up saying, right? But like, I just remember I had no idea how to get down off the stage. Like, Brittany to fucking like remove me.
Drag and drop. You're trying to drag and drop your little picture.
I was like, I don't want to take up too much space. Like, I've already spoke, so I'm going to provide more space for other people to be able to talk. You know, could someone take me down off the stage? I don't know how to click the buttons and make this shit happen. And like, Brittany we're friends now. We laugh about it, but like, it was just this moment where like, I was so brand new to all this, right? And you don't really know what you're stepping into when you first step in there. But like, Brittany's there to help out. There's always someone around if you're willing to ask the question that is trying to help people out in this space. So for me, it was just a really beautiful moment. But yeah, those early origin points, your first time stepping on stage, right? Like, it can be a very intimidating thing, but just knowing that we got a community of great support around really solidifies, at least takes away some of that fright. Like you're saying, someone else stepping out into that light frees others to take that next step too.
Well, you said something really important, that like, you're a sociologist, so you wanted to participate in that conversation, right? So that's the value set you came into that conversation with. A lot of people will be like, I don't have any value in this space. I don't have anything to provide. You have a whole lifetime of experience, and that individual perspective is insanely valuable to the space. So anyone who comes in may see things through a different light that others may not have, because maybe we're looking at it like all 100 of us are looking at it through this lens. And this person comes in with this fresh perspective and they're like, actually, in my world, that works like this. Boom, you just blew everything up. And that's tremendous value being an outside thinker. So anyone who's new to the space.
Like, FUD. No, play.
Yeah. If you're nervous, like, it's okay to be nervous, but usually you're practicing. Spaces are great for public speaking. You're alone in your room, in your car, wherever you want to be. No one's going to judge you, stumble on your work. Yeah, Sean does no.
I love that, because like when you start getting into something new, whether it's 10K TF, whether it's Otherside, whether it's the entire like Twitter spaces, a lot of people like myself and like many of us had expressed, like, may not necessarily feel like, where do I add value here? Like, I'm just soaking up game, I'm listening. And you do try and figure out, like, how do I add value? And it definitely is like, there is an unlock when it comes down to like realizing that, wow, the experiences that I'm already coming with could actually be helpful if I just speak up. And I really encourage that, because if, you know, I do say like Web3 needs you, you know, it's like, you know, this stuff is being built right now. If someone's like has a complaint about something, or, oh, this doesn't work this way and it's like, okay, cool. Well, how are we going to make it work this way? Like, what do we want it to be? And I love like you know, Nix.eth, Justin, he goes, I remember seeing a tweet and he was just saying something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, but along the lines of, a lot of people are asking the question of, you know, what is the metaverse? But maybe they should be asking, what do we want the metaverse to be? You know, and I think that's kind of where like we're at right now. Like, we got Otherside that's being built out and it's being co-developed with the community. So it's all in development right now. If we have some ideas of what we want to get out of it, like, this is our time to like really showcase that and either do it ourselves or, you know, come together as a community to figure out like, how can we actually make this happen?
100%. And those identity pieces that we're talking about, right? Being able to apply them, whether that's Laura Rod, right? The Miami Ape and what she's doing, Latinos in Web3. Herb has been hosting his bilingual spaces, right? Like, and then we built out of that. Like, recently, I was talking to NFT Nano out in front of NFT NYC, right? Late at night, right? And I'm like, dude, we need to have a cultural group. Like, we need to have a Spanish speaking group in 10KTF. Like, we need to host spaces for folks in Spanish. It's so hard to understand, right? But like, being able to build out these cultural groups, and like ladies in Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? The ladies of Bored Ape Yacht Club, like that group in itself, right? Continuing to build these bridges so people, these identifying groups, like as a basketball, like I'm a huge hooper. So like anything that has to do with basketball, like I'm automatically attracted to. I love smoking some weed, right? I got a master's degree in dabbing. So like anything that has to do with weed, I'm like 10 toes down. What are we getting into today? How are we degening out with all this, right? And like,
bro, have you ever come to one of my weekly smoke sessions? Actually, we're doing episode 23 of the Sunday Smoke Sesh today.
Dude, count me in. I'll show up and get down, you know.
Every Sunday at 11 p.m. for the last 23 weeks, I've held a smoking spaces on Twitter, and it's the craziest shit, because like my actual position for this company is cannabis consigliere, and you know, my whole job is to just smoke weed and promote vibes, and
talk about new positions in Web3. I said, talk about new positions in Web3 that you know, was referenced.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, we're all creating jobs for ourselves. We're creating undefined realities right now. So what I'm constantly seeing is like, oh, I have the skill set, but I don't know where it fits in a traditional Web2 title, right? So like, I don't know what my title is. When people ask you, what do? We do so many brand new things. It's hard to define it, right? So making up a new title for the hell of it almost works better than taking an old title and trying to apply it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we got a guest trying to enter the conversation.
Oh damn.
What up,
hey.
guys?
We
I'm
can't
late, but I
hear
had to
you.
make
What
it.
up?
You can't hear me?
What up?
Oh
There
yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Beautiful. A beaut.
What? That's awesome. I love it.
I
No.
Are
didn't
you
mean to.
stuck in your car?
That's so funny. Guys, here I am.
Are you about to run in the house and surprise your parents? Is that what's going on?
Boom. Don't let me interrupt the conversation. Jason the Ape, Nana, it was great to meet. Please continue. I'm here. I'm gonna keep up. But
Dude, it's good to see you. And I'm so curious on what's happening right now. Like, where are you? What are you about to do? You're outside for a reason, I suspect.
yeah, okay. So last night I had a Chris Friends Miss dinner. We do it every year in December. We you know, we names, code names, all that fun stuff. And like today lunch, and I check my phone and like I'm mid-meal and I'm like, I'm already. And because we're on my time, Eastern time zone, we're supposed to wrap it up, and I'm like, okay, let me pull up to the side of the road and jump on and talk to Nana and Jason, because I've been looking forward to this for a few weeks. I know like a few weeks ago where it wasn't possible, but honestly I feel like it's better to do it right now because in person, and now, you know, here we are. So that's the story.
Oh yeah.
Well, so my tailbone is still hurting from when I went ice skating and fell on my butt. Oh my
I
God.
fell too. Oh my God, I fell too.
When I picked up Coda the day I got back, I was like, oh my God, that is such a crazy pain. So I learned my lesson.
Yeah,
Atareh was like, you should tie your skates. And I was like, don't tell me what to do. And then I was like, I should stop skating now.
Yeah, because your skates were super loose, and I'm like, I should help him out. I'm like, if you go a little bit, you'll be able to stand up straight.
I sent my mom a clip of me falling, and she just saw the lights. She sees me skating like this, and then she sees my phone sliding in lights, and she's like, what did you do?
That's so funny. Oh my God.
Good time.
Yeah, we get used to the tailbone pain early because we fall a bunch, and then we're like, okay, I know what that feels like, and they're like, okay, I don't want to fall anymore, and so where you stop falling. So thankfully I still had it in me. It's been a few years, but that was awesome to be in Miami in a hot climate and skating.
Yeah,
it was wild, but I loved it.
Ice skating in South Beach. What a sentence.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Nana, how did you find the Bored Ape party, the Denzel Curry, and like get into the rage part of the stage at the very front? Because we were like throwing down, we were moshing hard. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, it was such a great way to end the week, you know, like we went to some other events like OTHERBLOCK, where had the opportunity to not only party, but just get to network and meet up and have some really meaningful conversations. And seriously, every single person that I was talking to just was doing something totally cool and amazing, or I've known them, you know, online and finally get to meet in real life, as well as linking up with old homies. But to end the week at the BAYC event, I think they did a great job with the music. To be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect. But you know what? Like Flying Lotus, when he came on too, that just put me back into my LA groove, and I was just feeling myself. You know, like that's where I just kind of lost myself in music. I was just having fun, you know, soaking up those free drinks, and you know, all the good vibes and friends that were around. And like, man, I saw the mullet. And then I was like, wait, I have to I beelined, and I just waited patiently because Diamond Hands was talking to someone, and then finally turned around, and I was glad you were able to recognize me, because like I was just like, man, And then we just chopped it up, you know, like just went in on just our ethos, man.
5 daps and hugs. I couldn't get away from the dude. It was just like, yeah, get over here, man. No, for real. This is fucking awesome. You know, and the vibe was lit.
Yeah. And then to have you two there, like right after, I was like, holy shit. So it was such a pleasure. That was like absolutely one of my highlights of the entire trip. Like just meeting you three, having the opportunity to chop it up a little bit, even if it was short. You know, I just feel like those are the moments and connections that, you know, I remember. You know, I'll always remember, and I'll remember how I felt too. Just kind of like meeting you all and just the amount of gratitude I have for all three of you.
Thank you. And Raul put it best. Raul yesterday where he said, "Remember this feeling right now," because there you go.
Our picture.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Liddy.
I love the shades on the baller.
Yeah, the DAM shirt was fire. I like that DAM shirt. I was like, oh damn, I didn't know y'all had some merch like that. Yep. And then that Eminem,
you know,
that
I had
racing jacket. Ooh.
We should do a cross community collab. Let's make a merch shirt for DAM and Otherspace and kind of like put Otherside and 10KTF together as like brand, and maybe we can use those sales to buy like deeds for the community so we could grow that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I love that actually. I feel like there's a lot of, I think that's part of the reason why we were even excited that they bought We Knew, because we're like, oh my God, we have all these incredible creators that we can tap into. And on a space, I think the day after the captaincy was announced, and we did a space, I forget if it was a Friday, but that was a cool moment as well to just kind of start the 10KTF ecosystem. And so when it just makes a natural sense when Yuga announced over and 10KTF went over, we're like, okay, there's a bunch of there's even more overlap with like really awesome network with, work with, and collaborate with, and it makes even more sense because now there's like that's the point that the thread that I was referencing where Raul Paul said that, remember it feels like the early internet of 96 2000, because people know everybody. It's a very small group and connections that in, you know, maybe 5-10 years it's not going to be as easy because there's going to be more people and so I felt that way at Art Basel, where it's like we walked in to see the same face as Baron. I think I ran into you like multiple times throughout that whole week, just to see everybody, and we recognize them and vice versa. Intimate atmosphere. What we have right now is really beautiful in the middle of a bear, and whenever that comes back, there's going to be way more attention. It's going to become much more difficult to kind of I feel like Art Basel this year was really special with respect to just community, because at the other block that was just like a nice intimate but still big but not too big people meet other apes, people that you've been talking to online, and finally meet, because I met so many Canadians at that event, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Everybody flew down for this. So
and put on by the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that, you know, you start to see people who are like raising their hand and just saying like, hey, we want this, you know, like that happened because they said so. And then it took a lot of work. Granted, you know, Peter, Swicky, Project Roadmap, Space Dust, the two teams that came together for it. Even with the first BAYC meetups, it was because there was community members that said, hey, this is what we want to do. And then kind of present that to Yuga. And then Yuga's like, oh, hell yeah, you know, we can throw down on some of this stuff. You know, we promote that.
That's awesome.
And we've even seen it, you know, we've seen that with you three, which is also really like inspiring to see, is that when the project kind of says like, hey, we see y'all putting it up for the community, here's like a part of the legacy for the entire 10KTF like story, and it's working in you all as team captains. Like, how sick is that? And then even recently with the stickers on the side of the Wen machine, you know, with directive board and Swilson. Yeah, dude, how sick is that? So you know, like, I can't imagine the feeling. And it was cool to see Swilson like realize that live on the DAM show live stream too. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But it's like stuff like that where it just gets me excited, because like, if these projects are really looking to you know, be behind the word and say like, hey, we're co-developing this, or, you know, we're about the community and we want to see how to empower the community, it's like, you got to find creative ways to do it. And I think we knew, and 10KTF has really showcased lots of really good proof of concepts, and to see their team tie in to everything else that's in the Yugaverse, I think is just, I'm so excited for what we knew is going to bring.
Yeah. And I just to add on to that, it's not just what we knew is going to bring. I think all these, the Otherside community, the Bored Ape community, and the 10KTF community, because it's like I like to think of it like, if you go back to Harry Potter, where the Triwizard Tournament, different like magical houses came to Hogwarts, all these other wizards here as well. It kind of feels like that, because it's taking all these big communities and like here's a new ecosystem, here's a bigger playground to play in. Just to go back to the other block, was really special was that at that event they had artists do with their art style of their ape, things like that. And I think that's such an important thing. It is made up of communities, and artists are a huge backbone of these communities, and to the opportunity to not only showcase their work, but also get an opportunity to earn and attend their work and resume and provenance. I thought that was such a special thing to do, and it's not thinking about community like that. And so to see a community-led event that was assisted by Yuga, I thought that was a special way to do it. And so it makes me really excited, actually, like about just diverse ecosystem, because it's not just the companies that are thinking about it, that are also thinking about like, how can we make it about the community, and how can we empower them and the artists, you know, let them showcase their talent in a way that's sustainable for them. So I thought that was all. As I'm super fucking bullish.
I know that's the biggest takeaway. I told my girlfriend this week. I said the reason I'm so excited about the other side is because the consistent thing I keep hearing is from V Strange, from Gordon, from Garga, as they talk more publicly, is that that's what they're most excited about, is the other, like that metaverse that they're building. And so I'm like, okay, you know, the reason Sean and I feel so strongly to keep doing these shows weekly is because we're passionate about it, but we also see the excitement that everyone else has out there for something that doesn't even exist. So to host a show for 6 months on a topic that we know like crumbs about, we don't know barely what it even is, but we still find opportunity to talk. Imagine when we have something to talk about, how crazy that is.
Yeah.
You know, but like really nothing's happened yet. So it's exciting to know how many people are excited without anything even being detailed for us.
Yeah, it's like when Wagmi-san doesn't tweet for a week, you're just like, oh shit, we gotta really figure you know, what does it mean? Yeah. But you know, I think that's when it comes back down to like the people in this space, you know, that are building, creating, and there's so much around that we can amplify. And so it's just super exciting to just be surrounded by so many people that are passionate and believe in something. And like, how can we continue to cultivate that and you know, connect resources, connect, you know, people, because I think, you know, we fast forward a year from now, it's going to be exciting to see like everyone's journey up to that point, because you look back, rewind 6 months, a year from now for either of us too, you know, and you know, I kind of go back to the you know, I still like hesitate to like request to speak in a space or something like that. But it's like just the consistency and you showing up is what kind of made me feel like you know, the growth in myself. So I feel like I'm growing. I know many of my peers feel like that as well. And the main thing has been just showing up.
With that said, guys, I got to bounce in a second because I got to do spaces in 10 minutes. But this has been awesome to hang out and get to know you guys on a different level. And I think Atareh, I think you were right. Meeting each other, it gives an extra level of, I hate to say it this way, but an extra level of value to me as I get to sit here and talk with you guys, where like we know each other a little bit more because we shared some physical space and shared some incredible events together. And now that's the beginning of fun memories as we kind of go forward and get to know each other. And I loved your point about how accessible everyone is right now, because you're absolutely right. Like, this is a very small world. Like yesterday, Lior popped in, or was it 2 days ago, popped into Otherspace and dropped major alpha. I asked him a very direct question. I was like, yo, are these hounds going to be ridden like horses in the Otherspace? And he couldn't get yes out of his mouth fast enough.
He's like, yes.
Like, wow.
Yes.
You know, so it's incredible. Like you have access to people that are creating the coolest stuff around you. Just reach out to them and don't be afraid to introduce yourself. It's worth it. But thank you guys for letting me come and hang out with you, and as well as Sean. It was cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you guys.
I'm gonna dip,
so
but I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
Thank you so much, guys, for being here. It was an amazing episode. Yeah, all about creators and creation. So thank you again. Hope to have like more opportunities to talk, but I think we will have. And yeah, keep going. What you're doing is amazing. So thank you guys again.
Take care.
And don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try dumb shit out here, right? We're all figuring it out as we go. We need people tapping into the weird stuff right now, right? When the other side opens up, we're going to need people on Twitch. We're going to need people streaming in different ways. I try to encourage everyone at 10KTF to think about how they would apply themselves in the metaverse. When we get to the other side, what would your shop, if you could build a shop on your metaverse, on your other deed, what would that look like in New Tokyo, right? And so continuing to keep people thinking about what the next levels look like. And we know that Unreal Engine is going to be like the building platform for what's going to go into the other deed, into the other side. Right. So like we have nuggets as a community. We just got to start pushing it forward and pushing each other forward to continue building, because it's hard out here as builders. Right. This is a builder episode. That is one point that I do want to stress. It's not all fun and games all the time. Right. But when we can gather energy and give out that energy, it's that exchange that we get that really keeps us going. So if anybody out there is looking to continue to build, don't be afraid to try the weird, dumb stuff that you think may not actually work. We don't know until you try it, y'all.
Yeah, big facts.
Okay, so we can close the episode. Thank you so much, Nana, as well, for being with us. This was amazing.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. No, awesome. Everything you shared, it's so valuable. So I hope as many people as possible get to hear what you have to say, especially creators, because it was such a great episode about talking about creators and creating. Like, I just love it so much. So yeah, thank you again. And thank you everyone for watching, for listening. I hope you like this episode, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.